Right, so hello everyone, and I'm back. And this is one of our weekend twofers. Actually, it might not just be a twofer, but then again, it would really depend on time and also if I run out of topics. But first off, I'd like to apologize for last week. I had a emergency work thing wherein I had to be somewhere wherein I wasn't able to record. But then again, it actually gave me time to listen to more songs, and I was actually just going to react to Nayeon's ABCD. But since I had an extra week to actually stew on it, I decided to I decided to listen to the whole album and give my thoughts. Well, Nayeon is one of the singers or the lead singer and also usually the center for the K-pop group Twice. Now Twice is one of K-pop's biggest girl groups. Maybe next they might be next or comparable to Blackpink. Well, I might get a lot of hate for that, but it's basically Twice and Blackpink who is up there in terms of staying power, and at the same time, they're also one of the ones that really that really really pushed K-pop into and not into mainstream, since they owe it to other groups like SNSD and the other groups too, and like Wonder Girls to really put K-pop up there. But they're the ones that maintained K-pop and basically gave everybody the usual notion of what K-pop is. Uh, Now, Nayeon, being part of Twice, being a part of a nine member group, is, of course, she has to perform to how Twice does, right? Which is more of a bubblegum girly type kind of songs. And with Nayeon being their leader, no, not really, Geo's the leader, but being their center and the one who usually starts the songs, I think it's natural that she would be one of the first to go into to go solo, to do solo projects. And Na is Neon's second solo project after Pops, after last 2 years ago's Pop. Now, first off, I would like to say that this Neon's album, the second album, is a big departure from the way Twice would perform. Twice would sing. Twice would do their songs. Um, Unlike Pop, wherein you still get to listen to Twice. I mean, listening to Pop and all her songs, it's like basically listening to a twice song without the others, right? And it's not that I'm not saying it's a bad thing. I mean, I love Twice. It's basically they're still basically my favorite K-pop group. But listening to her to NA or is a very different. It gives a different vibe. It gives a different Neon. Now, I would say that this this new album is actually quite mature for her, in a sense that she's willing to try different things. She's willing to try different songs, and it's great since from the last time we saw Neon more than 10 years ago, and from what she is now, definitely she's matured. Her singing has changed, and even the way she would dress. I mean, she's always cute. I mean, she's very beautiful. But now there's a sensuality to her, a sexiness to her, which she has started to really show in the previous comebacks, and especially with One Spark. With the way she would dress, and moving into in her current album, this is really something that's really it's really like pushing boundaries to and pushing herself to try things which she's not comfortable with. And that's what this album shows. it shows that she's willing to experiment and she's willing to work for it. If we're going to be starting off with their title track ABCD, first off, you can see that the video quality is there. They really spent money on it. They used is that they used Western sets and Western people to as her dancers. But then again, the way her dance moves is very different from her Twice moves, and even the song itself. Actually, if I were going to compare ABCD, I wouldn't be surprised if people would play it and it would be like an ITZY song, right? She reminds me more of an ITZY performance, wherein the dance moves are a lot more power, has a lot more power, has a lot more is a lot more dynamic. The song itself is very. The whole album actually has this R&B vibe, very confident, and it's very confident. It's very a lot more mature, very very untwice. I mean, as we see Twice getting older, their music gets more mature. But then again, as Twice moves up in its path for maturity, Nayeon branches out but still does the same path to maturity compared to pop. Pop is still bubblegummy, but none of the songs in this album is bubblegummy. All of them has a little bit more grit, has a little bit more, let's say, attitude. Especially for ABCD, and then the dance. Everybody's talking about that move she did. Well, if it were not Nayeon, if it were somebody else, maybe like Somi, it might just be normal. But nevertheless, it's Nayeon. She's part of Twice, one of the cutie groups, and those is pretty risky. Her dance is pretty risky, and it's great seeing that. She gets to really feel sexy for herself. She gets to really get out of the cutie girl crush cocoon. Or is it a girl crush? No, girl crush more of ITZY, but the more cutie teeny boppy twice mold, and she really gets to be herself. Now for the other songs, Butterfly is heavy. I feel that I get heavy R&B vibes. It's a very beautiful song. Heaven with Sam Kim. It's good. I like it. I like her song. She gets to sing with more power. It's like she's trying to be a lot more Geo type. And Sam Kim, I really don't know who Sam Kim is. I haven't checked yet, but he sounds okay. But so far, after ABCD and Butterflies I really like. Heaven, Heaven is with Sam Kim, is Magic with Julie of Kiss of Life. The thing with that is, it's not actually a Nayeon song with Julie just butting in. It's actually a collab, a really nice collab, because as Nayeon sings and Julie puts her rap in, it actually complements the whole song. It's not just Nayeon's song. It now becomes Julie. Julie puts a big part of herself in that song. So it's actually a lot more collab. I would really rather say it's Nayeon and Julie. And the fact that she gets to collab a lot for this album, and it gave Julie's rap gave it more. I'm not sure the term's more cred, but it actually gave it a little bit more, give it more power, or maybe made it a little bit more rugged, or no, not rugged, but it gave a little bit more attitude to the song, and I love it. And that's also one of my favorites. The next song is Hali Gali. It's a bit of a disco type song. Well, it's Twicey. It's a little bit more disco Twicey. If anything, it's closer to Twice. I would find it that way. And then the last two songs, Something sounds like a Twice song for me. It's good. It's but I wouldn't really get really blown away with it. And lastly, there's counting. Uh, I like it. It's actually pretty nice. It's a nice ending to the song. It's just that the album itself is just 7 songs. I'm not sure if they would even be calling it an album at 7 songs. It's pretty short, but uh, but nevertheless, I would say that it's a great transition from Twice to her solo debut with Pop, and then coming in with NA. You can see a transition for of her character and her style. You know, we do have the Twice, which is in a mold, which is always in a mold. Though they are doing more adulty stuff, but it's still in a mold. She tried moving out with Pop by it's still basically very twicey, see? But it's her songs already. Then she moved to her own. You know, it's like really stepping out of her comfort zone, and I love it, and I love her for that. Especially since for this era, for this comeback, Nayeon's my bias. You know, previously I do have my it's only group wherein I do have different biases within the group every time they do a comeback, and Neon's Neon is currently my bias, and it's a great way for her to really to experiment, and she did. And guys, I really like, if you guys have Spotify or in YouTube or anywhere to try to listen to it, please listen to the whole album. You can see a different version of Neon here. She's still cute, you know. If you can see her, she's still cute, but then you can see a little bit more maturity in her craft, in her songs, you know, even in her dance. Now, I do hope, on a separate note, I do hope that if any of the Twice members, especially Gio, does a second solo project, I do hope that she can follow what Neon did. Not follow in terms of her songs, right? Of course, she has her own vocal range, she has her own style, but when she did her solo album, I found it pretty safe. All right, I'm sorry. I found it pretty safe. Right? I do hope that she can take that step, you know, that step. But then again, it's Geo. Geo and Twice has really been a lot more in your face. Right? So Neon is really the center, yet she's the cutie one. And she really showed us that she can really do things with attitude. So I do hope that Geo in her solo performance could really try to get out of her comfort zone. Well, so far in terms of groups now who try to do something a little bit more solo. So there's Neon, there's Geo, and there's Misamo, or the Japanese line, with Mina, Sana, and Momo. You know, so far they're okay, but so far I just have to say that it's Neon. Actually, even before when she released Pop, she's the one who did the best on their solo, even on her solo debut, and now she took it a step further. And I do hope that a lot more of the Twice members would do solo projects. I know Jongin isn't fond of doing anything solo, but maybe Chaerong, I really would like to see her do a little bit more of her rap, you know, a little bit, because ever since when she was doing interviews, she'd like to try some things like Doja Cat and stuff. I really do hope that she can work with maybe even Somi, or work on her, part of her own music, since she does help in songwriting. And I do hope that Cheong would really do more, would really try to do something solo. Daeyeon's already doing acting, which is perfect for her. She's one of our more animated Twice members. And Chewy, I mean, Chewy could be a great model. She can do anything. She's perfect. But I'm so happy with the way Nayeon did this album. She is wonderful. The songs are great. The songs are a big not that big, but it's pretty much of a departure from the usual Twice formula. Even departure from her first album, and I do hope that you can check it out. You know, it's out now. All 7 songs are in Spotify. Check it out. ABCD is great, but I do hope that they can bring in maybe Magic. You know, do something with Julie. It's a great way to really show herself. And I'm gonna be very, very honest in this, but I know I might get hate for this comment, but I find her, I find her comeback a lot better than Lisa's current one with Rockstar. I'm sorry, Blinks, I'm sorry, but I did find it a bit bland, especially with the repetitive chorus, right? So, but nevertheless, it's Nayeon here. Nayeon, great job, Nayeon, great album, and guys, I do hope that you can check it out, and I do hope we get to see a lot more Twice members do something solo. And thank you very much for taking the time to watch this.